Nobody talks about what happens after awakening. They talk about the breakthrough, the signs, the synchronicities, the dark night of the soul. But almost no one talks about the phase that comes next, the quiet phase, the confusing phase, the phase where you stop feeling spiritually high and start becoming someone entirely new. This is the hidden integration phase of awakening. And if you're in it right now, you are not going backward. You are becoming real. At first, awakening feels intense. You question everything. You feel emotional breakthroughs. You notice signs, energy shifts, patterns, synchronicities. It feels like your entire reality is changing. But eventually, something unexpected happens. The intensity fades. Life gets quieter. And many people panic here because they think, did I lose my awakening? Why do I suddenly feel normal again? Why do I feel disconnected after feeling so spiritually alive? But this phase is not the end of awakening. It is the beginning of embodiment. Awakening reveals truth. Integration teaches you how to live it. And those are very different things. Anyone can have a moment of awareness. But integration is where awareness becomes identity. This is the phase where your nervous system, habits, relationships, and daily life slowly reorganize around what you now know, not intellectually, but emotionally, practically, spiritually. This is where awakening stops being an experience and starts becoming who you are. The integration phase often feels emotionally confusing because the ego expects awakening to feel extraordinary forever. But healing is not constant intensity. Eventually, your system stabilizes. And when that happens, many people mistake peace for emptiness. The spiritual high fades, the constant searching fades, the obsession with signs and validation begins to soften. And for the first time, you are asked to live without the chaos that once defined you. That can feel uncomfortable, especially if your nervous system became accustomed to emotional intensity, because many people don't realize this. Sometimes awakening removes stimulation before it brings clarity. This phase changes your identity in subtle ways. You may notice needing less external validation, outgrowing certain conversations, becoming more protective of your energy, craving authenticity over performance, losing interest in proving yourself. And perhaps the strangest part, you stop feeling like the person you used to be. Not dramatically, quietly, naturally. The roles you once performed begin falling away. And because identity is deeply tied to belonging, this phase can feel lonely. You are no longer fully connected to the old version of yourself, but the new version is still stabilizing. This creates an emotional in-between space. And that space is where transformation deepens. Awakening is not only spiritual, it is biological. Your nervous system is learning how to exist without constant survival patterns, without hypervigilance, without emotional overfunctioning, without abandoning yourself for acceptance. And that recalibration can initially feel unfamiliar. For some people, peace feels uncomfortable because chaos once felt normal. So integration teaches your body something profound. You no longer need to live in survival mode to feel safe. And that lesson changes everything. Real awakening becomes quieter over time, not weaker, deeper. You become less reactive, more present, more intentional. You stop chasing healing as an identity. You stop searching for yourself in every sign, every relationship, every spiritual concept. Because slowly, you begin trusting yourself. This is where awakening matures, not into perfection, but into alignment. The hidden integration phase is where many people think they are failing, but in reality, this is where awakening becomes sustainable. This is where wisdom replaces intensity, where embodiment replaces performance, where peace becomes more important than proving you are evolving. And perhaps most importantly, This is where you finally begin building a life that reflects who you truly are, not who survival required you to be. If you are in this quiet phase right now, please understand, you are not disconnected from awakening. You are integrating it. The goal was never to stay in constant transformation. The goal was to become whole enough that transformation no longer feels forced. Awakening is not meant to pull you away from life. It is meant to return you to yourself, fully conscious, fully present, and finally, fully real. If this video resonated with you, subscribe to this channel, because here we talk about awakening beyond the surface, the psychology, the nervous system, the identity shifts, and the becoming that almost nobody explains.